You ever looked forward for a AAA game to come out just because the graphics looked great, the gameplay looked awesome, and it had a really cool trailer, just to find out that the systems were repetitive or maybe the combat was lacking depth? That's happened to everybody at least once. And if you're a game designer like me, you sometimes get worried that'll happen to your games. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to make sure that doesn't happen to you. You have to make a strong game design document, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, so I'm going to show you my way of starting a game design document. If you're going to make something, you want to make sure you know who you're making it for, because if you don't market to this person, you're not going to sell very well. So think about your genre, your point of view, your gender and age, your setting, and then maybe an inspiration that you're coming up with. Using those points, you can figure out what that niche is missing, or maybe what that niche has too much of. Because a lot of fans love their niche, but have a lot of grievances towards it. A great example is RTS games. A lot of RTS games go down a competitive route, and it just takes a lot of casual players out of it. So if you want to make an RTS, maybe a good route to go down is a casual one, right? If that research pertains to that. So use these points for your research, and then you can move on to the next step. And that next step is coming up with pillars. Though your pillars are going to be what narrows your focus, your scope, right? So having a narrow scope will make making a game a lot quicker and a lot easier. Keeping a narrow scope will help get rid of a bunch of bloat, because whenever you make a system or you add something to your game, you want to go back in your pillars and you want to look at them and you want to say, okay, does this system or does this thing that I'm adding, does it fit in my pillars, in my scope? If it doesn't, you can just get rid of it. It's so much easier than trying to work around that system, because a lot of times you come up with a system and you're like, I love this thing too much to get rid of it. Save it for later. Write it down in Google Docs and just save it for later. Whenever you come up with another game and you need another system, just go back and write it down. Now I want to take this time to tell you to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down a system that you wanted to add to a game but you ended up having to take out. My next point, vision statement. This is my favorite part. Basically, a vision statement is a sentence or a paragraph that summarizes what your game is going to be and what you're trying to come up with. An elevator pitch would be another word for this. Now, here are some points that I laid out, and each of those are a sentence that I like to add in my vision statements. You don't have to follow the same formula, but that line of thinking is what you want to make sure you have inside your game, especially the last point, finish with a question, because it'll have the person who reads it ask themselves, can I do this? It makes them imagine what the game is going to be about. It's going to put them inside a player perspective, and that's what you want. Last but not least, project questions. This is where you can start to add a lot of the systems or a lot of the designs that you came up with. You want to make sure you make a nice long list of stuff that you want to add into the game. There are some points that I have here that I like to start off with, and try to answer some of these things. Whenever you answer them and you think about these questions that you ask yourself or your team, that'll help you figure out what you need to get rid of, and also help you narrow down your scope. It'll make sure you have your first steps of your game. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see, or if there's any questions that you have about this video in particular. Keep writing and keep designing. Have a good one.